Hello, you hotties. Welcome to Wild&T with Tara.
Teddy.
And Tawny. Welcome back, everybody, to today's episode. We're going to go ahead and kick things off with another of my obsessions. I'm not going to lie, I'm actually not particularly obsessed with this entire thing, but certain portions. So today we're going to talk about summer because it is hopefully right around the corner, even though the weather hasn't yet got the memo where I live. But it's fine. I guess we'll get there eventually. But I am not going to lie. I'm not hugely obsessed with summer because it's hot and you just kind of die and it can be kind of miserable and the UVs are super high and I burn so fast. So is something I'm really good at is burning. But last year my husband and I, we threw a party, a redneck party. We called it the White Trash Bash. And it was actually kind of a big hit. Everybody dressed up in their best redneck gear. And we had all sorts of, redneck things that we could think of. And it was like one of the things we did is I took corn dogs and I took them off their stick and I chopped them up, right? And I drizzled ketchup on it and it was redneck sushi. And I didn't think anybody would touch it, but it was the first thing that was just gone. Like everybody loved it.
Ew.
Not the white trash bash.
They hate you because they think you white trash.
The nice thing about that party is you don't have to spend a ton of money because you just take like pieces of cardboard and you write on it for your signs and you take just like really cheap stuff because that's the white trash part of it, right? Like I took this huge piece of cardboard I had and I spray painted it silver and made it into one of those like Airstream trailers. So I attached like pieces of cloth for like curtains, like, the floweriest things that I could get. And we had a tire for whatever reason. I think I just changed the tire on my car. So we had an extra tire that I put next to it. Got like pink flamingos in a blue plastic pool and had that as like a backdrop. So people actually really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. We actually had somebody show up with chicks. And that's how I ended up getting the last of the chicks that I got was somebody brought chicks because they thought it'd be a super fun party favor, I guess, for us.
Elephant gift.
Yeah, basically. Oh, and then for the party favors, we did scratchers. So just like dollar scratchers for everybody. So it was super easy, right? So we have everybody asking us again if we're going to have round 2 this year. So I'm like, hey, it was a hit. That's fun. And somebody suggested a water slide. So we're going to get an inflatable water slide.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to do like a tarp with like soap and water.
No, but what I did want to do was put it in the back of the truck, like the bed of the truck, like a big old tarp and fill it with water. I don't know. We might do that this year. We'll see. But yeah.
No, but you should do a white elephant gift exchange, but call it white trash elephant gift.
Or just white trash gift exchange. And then people are like, isn't it white elephant? No.
That's a good idea. We should. Yeah, we had a trophy for who was dressed the best white trash. And it was just like bottles and cans spray painted gold and attached to round pieces of cardboard. All of it spray painted gold. Like I said, it was just the super trashiest that I could think. And of course, get Pinterest ideas. So we'll see how it goes this year. But I guess my summer obsessions would be the parties and not the heat. What about you guys?
Give me all that heat. I am obsessed.
Heat obsessed.
Yeah. I'm obsessed. I love it. I love summer. I love stargazing. I love that the sun is out forever and ever and it's super late and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like 9:30. Why am I so awake? And I love the pools. I love the water parks. I love summer everything. I love the lemonade. Just sip, it's good stuff.
Oh yeah. I am heat obsessed. I'm summer obsessed. If it's not over like 90 degrees, it's too cold to swim anywhere. I love the summer. I love late sunsets. I love early sunrises. Yeah, I just love I will literally just go sit outside. And being here in Michigan, with summer comes humidity, but like I've walked outside and just been like, it's like 90% humidity and just been like, ooh, like just the happy shivers. Like it makes me so happy. I
Yes.
love summer. I'm definitely obsessed with summer.
I
Live for
remember in
summer.
high school when, in high school, those classrooms, they're freezing. Like that AC is blasting the most that it can. So you're like carrying a jacket with you in California, all right, to these classrooms because they're so cold. And I would walk out and I would go sit in the truck and I would just like sit there like to get the happy shivers because I'm like, it's like over 100 degrees in the truck, but I'm like so warm, so nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that too, driving with the windows down because you don't want no AC because it's so nice outside. You're like, I just drive with the windows down. What's the point of AC?
I mean, that's how I am in the
We're not
spring,
on
but
the
our
highway.
summer is so hot.
Give me the sweltering heat. Give me the sweat dripping down my back. Give me the sun-kissed skin, so sun-kissed that I burn like a lobster. Give me all of it because, like, that to me is joy, just incarnate. And I feel like, and then, yeah, beach stuff, super fun. Pool stuff, super fun. You don't, I don't know. It's just all of the fun stuff. I know that the biggest argument to why winter is better than summer is because it's easier to get warmer than it is to cool down. Like, no, I don't care.
I mean, if you want that, but like, no, I don't need to cool down. I mean, I think also the reason I'm obsessed with summer is because my favorite smell in the world, if you know, you know, otherwise people think I'm crazy, but it's literally the scent of like the dried grass smells like it's about to spontaneously combust. That is my favorite scent in the world.
Yeah, all of the weeds. The hot weeds.
I guess,
burst into flames.
I mean, the last couple places I've lived has been near the beach, or ocean or whatever, or at a place that had a pool. But I don't like where I'm at. I think the closest lake, like swimming lake, is a good like 4 hours. Which I mean, it's how we grew up, but we also grew up, near pools and whatnot too. So and water parks, but I don't even honestly even know if there's a water park close by. Maybe like within an hour, but maybe that's what it is. I've just gotten too lazy to drive anywhere that has water, and water is the best part of summer.
I'm getting used to Michigan weather and it doesn't ever get in the hundreds. Like it might get to 90s. And I don't think I even like touched water last summer because I was like mentally, subconsciously waiting for it to get warm enough, but it didn't. So I need to get used to like it will never be warm enough and you just need to jump in the lake anyway.
Yeah, because that lake is gorgeous next to you. And I am not a lake person, but that lake is beautiful. So if you don't get into it this summer, I'm going to drive down there and force you.
Well, I won't even be here for the warmest part of the summer, so that's kind of frustrating.
True.
But I'll force myself to do it anyway.
So with summer comes swimsuit season. And
yes, the dark underbelly of summer.
Well, Teddy, hit the nail on the head with that one.
For some people.
Because we all know that with swimsuit season comes the dreaded swimsuit body, right? It comes, I have to hurry up and get an entire year's worth of working out into 1 month because summer is coming up sooner than I thought it would. So with that said, I know for all of us, like as a family, we've all gone through the different phases of just, our bodies, anybody in general, just being a kid, teenager, young adult to adult. I mean, your body just changes. It's just what happens, especially being women, really have the short end of the stick with that one on that end, because I honestly love being a woman, but we get the short end of the stick with that one when it comes to our body fluctuating and just changes that randomly occur. And you just wake up one day and you're like, what is that? But what has your guys' body positivity journey looked like over the years?
I think I was lucky to have body confidence for the majority of my life. Like as a young kid, like I always knew that I had a different body type than everybody else. And I definitely had struggles with wanting to look like everybody else sometimes. And especially because my body that was different stood out a lot, like a lot. Like it was something people would comment on like constantly. And that was probably the hardest part for me is like having something that stood out from everybody else that would get commented on all the time. Not necessarily negatively, but to me I was just don't look at me. Like I don't want anybody to notice. I just want to be the same as everyone else. And that was hard, but overall I think through the years, I like taught myself to be happy with my body because I knew I was strong and healthy. And if there are things I wanted to change, I worked towards changing it. But I don't know. There are parts of your life like I've been so skinny and I wasn't like healthy at all. And then there are parts where you start gaining weight and then you struggle because you're like, this isn't what I look like in my head. This is very difficult to reconcile, but I still push myself to be confident in who I am, even if my body doesn't always reflect that.
That was beautiful and vulnerable.
Mhm.
For me, I never, from a young age, I was told that I didn't look anything like my family. So, like, outer appearance was something that was always just brought up to me all the time. But it
Well,
was not
the exact quote was, "Where did they find you, under a rock?"
from
My gosh.
a grocery store clerk. Yes.
Which we as siblings never said. We never joked about it in a negative way with Teddy. And I was shook when that lady said that. Like I wanted to like pull her across from her cashier spot and like shake her. Like I was so mad.
It
Yeah,
was really
what a lot
funny.
of
It
people say.
makes for a really, really good story. But like I knew that because I was told that I didn't look like my family, that I took it in probably the worst way possible because I thought like my siblings were gorgeous humans and I didn't look like them. Therefore, I was not good looking. It's like, of course, just the brain that tells you. So from a young age, I put no stock into my like physical appearance because I knew that I was at a disadvantage, or in my head I was at a disadvantage. I had bad acne like through puberty, and I mean it wasn't the worst of the worst, but it was I was made fun of for like I had braces, I had acne, I had just a lumpy body that people didn't have. and I
Not the lump.
I knew
Those are
that
called curves, Teddy.
I didn't know that at the time. I was young. And so I knew that like I could not put stock into my appearance as far as like what I was going to focus on, because if I dwelt on it, I would feel bad. So I definitely was just like, you know what? I'm smart. So I'm just going to be smart. And that's it. And so that's kind of just like what I focused more on. And if I wanted to wear something, I was gonna wear it. It didn't matter because like to me, because even if I looked bad, I didn't think that I looked good in general. So it was just like I would just not dwell on what my body looked like. I would dwell on um, you know, how intelligent I was acting, and I would dwell on um how strong. When it did come to my body, I wanted to be strong. I knew I wanted to be strong, and that was it. And so but it's been a long journey, and it wasn't until I was serving a mission for our church that I felt like the most beautiful like I had ever felt. And it really didn't have anything to do with what I was putting on my body or like how much makeup I was putting on or anything like that. I just felt really good about myself. And so yeah, and so I would just make goals of that. I tried to make it not be appearance focused and just more like health focused and mind focused and spiritual focused. And yeah, and it's never been perfect, but I still will wear swimsuits because there are swimsuits for all body types that you can feel good in. You can feel good in, you can look good in, and you're just gonna have fun in it anyways, whether it's tanning or jumping in the pool or in the ocean or in the lake. So yeah, this is very much like for me an uncomfy topic because like I have to be so transparent, or
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being transparent with feelings, and like it's just not comfortable because I don't think any of us have been completely confident our entire lives about like our bodies in general.
There was a very brief period of time when I was 22. Very brief period of time. But I mean,
The
same
golden body age.
pretty much. But and actually, well, before that, I was just a kid. I was just a kid. And so I had a kid's body. I mean, to the sense that I was also a gymnast and barely ate anything, and not on purpose, but sometimes on purpose. And, so I just had all sorts of issues. And I was the kind of person who all my friends were beautiful, right? And people would go up to my friends while I was with them and be like, and tell my friends like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. I never got that ever. Not once in my life. Every single one of my friends when I was with them got that. And I was like, ouch. So I guess nobody ever tells me I'm pretty, so I guess I'm not pretty. And that just opened up a whole other can of worms as a teenager, as teenagers do. And so I mean, I definitely went through a lot of my own struggles with that, and I just never felt pretty, and it was a face thing, and it was a body thing, and it was just all the things. But I was tiny, but like Teddy said, I was strong because I was a gymnast, and because, our parents believed in outside work and just all that good stuff that we've talked about. So, there was just kind of trying to, and I also had friends who would make comments on my chest size and call me flat all the time. And so that just makes you feel even worse. You're a whole teenager and you have friends who are way more blessed than you are. And then they're calling you flat and you're like, excuse me, I'm just going to go home and cry now. That's cool. I'm going to think about that for the rest of my life now. Yeah, we're on like 10 plus years strong with that one. So, yeah, so I mean, it's hard. And then I got to a point where I did feel a lot more confident in myself, but a lot of that was validation from other people. It wasn't myself. Like I didn't have that confidence in myself from myself. I got it from other people telling me. And a lot of that was more the physical validation than like personality wise or anything like that. So there was a brief period of time there where I was comfortable with myself. But it could have been for the wrong reasons. And a lot of it was based on other people's opinions of me. It wasn't necessarily just myself. And then I got older and your metabolism slows down, and I put on what people call happy weight because that's when I met my husband and we started dating, and Crumble opened up like 20 minutes away from us. So
Crumble.
No, Grumble.
yeah, I'm not but yeah, so Crumble opens up and we got really excited with the cookie of the week, and don't do what we did because I gained like 40 pounds. I'm not exaggerating when I say I gained like 40 pounds. And then I started looking at myself and I was like, ew, oh my gosh, what is this? And then I coupled that with lifting heavier at the gym. And we have the kinds of jeans where when you lift heavy, you get bulky. And so it can, in some instances, depending what you're wearing, look fat. And so I put things on and just be like, ew, right? Which is not a good way to think of yourself. And I struggled real bad. And then after that, I had some health issues, which put me in really scary situations. Not something I'm going to get into. But because of that, I struggled a lot with anxiety and depression really bad. And so my mental health was awful. And so I'm trying to work full time. I'm trying to go to school full time. I'm trying to manage my mental health when I just had days where I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't do a single thing. And I'm also trying to manage a social life. And I'm a youth leader in church. And that's a, constant thing. And so I was trying to juggle all these things while just not feeling like my full self and trying to go to the gym. So, because my thought process was, if I look good and I'm confident in my body, then I'll feel better, right? Then I won't have anxiety. I won't have depression. And I was exhausted. So I actually came across this quote by Elizabeth Elliot, and it reads, "Rest is a weapon given to us by God. The enemy hates it because he wants us to be stressed and occupied." And if there's anything that really sums up that time in my life, it's definitely this quote, because I was not resting. I felt like I had to do all the things and just be Superwoman and hide it all and pretend like it didn't exist, because that would make it go away, right? And I had to be perfect because then I would feel perfect and then I would feel better about myself. And it came to a point that I just gave up. I was like, I cannot, something has to give. I have to cut something out. And so I cut out like the daily exercise. And you still should exercise, I'm not gonna lie, but it was more smaller things like going for a walk or just not laying in bed all day. Or in some days, honestly, it was just getting up and brushing my teeth or refilling my water bottle was the only thing that I could do for the day. So I had to give up the struggle with my body image over just taking the small wins for my days and resting, because I needed to rest because of everything that I was just struggling with mentally with my mental health. So my mental health became more of a priority. Not that my physical health wasn't a priority, but it was more like making sure I, was eating better versus just eating how I was and then going to the gym more. So once I actually focused my mental state, and focused my choices, I guess, on, giving myself that grace, really is what it was, and just being like, your body doesn't have to, you are not 22 anymore, Tawny. You've gone through some major health issues. Like, I had surgery. I was, in a dire situation where I could have potentially died. And so after that, I was like, I just need to be happy that I'm here. I need to be happy that I am healthy, that I am, okay, that I'm accomplishing all these things when I just don't want to, when I don't want to be doing this. So I had to allow myself to rest. On the days where I didn't have anything scheduled or didn't have anything planned, I just needed to rest. And once I started doing that, I shifted my thoughts and I shifted my focus to appreciating what I had, appreciating who I was and where I was in life, and just appreciating that I was here and that I had gone through these things and I'm stronger and I was okay and I healed quickly. And once I started doing that, I started being okay with having gained weight and not looking like I did when I was, a teenager or 22 years old, and not having that flat stomach anymore, and my thighs being bigger and having to get all new jeans because they didn't fit in jeans anymore. And once I shifted that, it doesn't mean that I'm fully comfortable and confident with myself, but I wasn't beating myself up daily when I would look in the mirror and just want to hide everything. And I actually helped me in the gym more because I wasn't trying really hard to overexert myself to get to that point that I wanted to be faster than I could or faster than I should. Not that everybody should go through a really terrifying health scare to get to that point, but learn to love what you can do and learn to love who you are and what your body has done for you, which is get you this far in life. And just understand that it's going to take time, and shifting that focus and shifting your mindset is more important than trying to force yourself to fit into that image that you think you should be in right now.
Yeah, I have a quote also. It says, body confidence doesn't come from trying to achieve the perfect body. It comes from embracing the one you've got. And the funny thing is, like, we all three of us are definitely not in our prime body state. But the thing is,
Yeah, I
also
am in my prime, like, BMI fat state. Like, I have double head.
There's a prime of something. Yeah.
I'm prime ribs. Like, if you just slap it down on the heavy, thick kind. Yeah, no, that's the
You're like,
prime.
I'm ready for the slaughter. I am ready for the But the thing is, we all know what it takes and how it feels to achieve what we're most comfortable, like our body that we're most comfortable in. And it's kind of like when we cut our, like for us, we have very fast growing head of hair. And every time we cut our hair, people will comment like, "Oh my gosh, you cut your hair." And we're like, "It'll grow back." And I feel like that's like kind of how the phase we're in right now. It's like, we'll get back. It's fine. And if we don't, we don't. But we know how to get back to it. We know what to do. We know how it feels. and it won't be the same, but it'll be a new normal in the future.
Yeah, yeah. It's just bouncing back and forth to like you said, to be able to live your fullest life in the body that you have. And if the body that you have is not allowing you to live your fullest life, then that's, something's got to change.
Yeah,
And
do
that's
what you need to do to get there.
yeah, and that's been the kicker. Like that's just that's just how it's been.
Like I gained 40 pounds, but I still got scuba certified. I still play sports. I still, get to do all the things and enjoy all the things that I want to enjoy. And I get to enjoy that cookie with it too. So it's okay.
Always enjoy the cookie with it too. That's what we live for. Whatever point we're at, as long as we can enjoy that cookie, that is the most important part.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll
Tawny,
enjoy it less. Like, I mean, I won't enjoy it less. I'll enjoy it just as much, but I'll enjoy less of it just because I know I need to, but I'm still going to enjoy it.
I can say too, and I liked that you pointed this out, was that just how like closely related mental health and physical health can be. And I know that when I was in my physical prime, as far as like I was strong, I was athletic, I could go on 6 mile runs because I just would. I was thriving. It was for me that mental release, and it also helped me stay in like a really good mental and spiritual space because I wasn't like focused on how I looked because I didn't even realize how much when I came back from the mission where I gained a ton of weight on and I went back to college, I didn't realize how weak I'd become and how much weight I had put on until like I had to lift myself out of the deep end of the pool and I just looked like a beach walrus and it did not go well. So that's when I was like,
that was your side. And you're like, oh dear.
I was like, oh my gosh, I need upper body strength now. And so and I worked on that and it really just became not like, oh, I want to look really good. It was I'm super stressed at the end of the day and I need to go on a run because I need to release this energy that's inside of me or I'm going to die. And so like and that's how I was able to get into like a good mental space. And because, you choose healthy ways and it doesn't always have to be exercise to get into a good mental space, then you're going to feel better no matter what you look like.
Yeah,
It brings you peace. Honestly, because that's where the rest comes from, is what brings you peace. If running is what brings you peace and that's how you rest your soul versus like your body, or that's what you rest your mind versus like whatever kind of rest it is that you need, that's what I've found is what that quote means. You need that kind of rest, whether it's your soul, whether it's your mind, whether it's your body. You just need that kind of rest to just breathe.
And I like that you pointed out like the strength thing. I think confidence definitely comes from knowing how strong I am, like physically and mentally. And so that's something that is definitely a weaker point for me right now. And I know that that's the point I want to get to, is feeling that strength again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So on that topic, then, we know that a lot of people, in the effort to try and get to that perfect quote unquote place with their body, try a lot of these fad diets. I personally don't like the restriction that diets bring because I feel like that can cause binging or hurt you worse in the long run as far as like your thought process and yourself. What do you guys think?
I would say I think a lot of fad diets do affect eating disorders for sure. But there are certain people who kind of like thrive off of them, especially when they have the ability to try something new. But I think they do use them as a fad, and it's rare for them to like try to keep up with it forever. Like Teddy and I did this competition at our boxing gym, and we had to follow a really strict diet in order to win the competition. And honestly, it was kind of fun because we cut out all sugar, and I was like so impressed with with my ability to cut out sugar for like 6 weeks. And I kept that going for like a couple more weeks after, and it's not like I felt guilty at all about eating sugar once I started again, but it like was kind of fun to accomplish that. And I think if you just have that mindset that it's a fad diet and it's not long lasting, and it's okay to like try something new to maybe push yourself or reset your what your body has been expecting previously, and then have a healthy exit out of that diet, I think it's okay.
I think that, like, for me, yeah, the only time I've ever gone on like a diet was for that competition. And it was fun. I don't even know why we did
Well,
it.
I got second place, so there's that.
Yeah, Tara did really well.
Congratulations.
Did not win anything, but it was fun to do still and to participate in. And I have a very competitive spirit, so I was like, oh, okay, like bet, you know. And so that's the only time when I've really dieted and like counted and tracked and reported and was accountable for it. Um, Other than that, I like not dieting, but I like being like, you know, let's try these types of meals this week, or let's incorporate these foods in what I'm eating, or let's drink all of the water in the world because the more bathroom breaks means the less work I have to do. And like and so I don't know. I think it's true, and probably I mean, I don't know if this offends people who have to eat restrictively, but like if you do like a vegan meals for a week, it's just kind of fun to me, and it's all tasty and it's all new, and so I like it like that. But what I struggle with with food right now is I'm married to a very heavy set Samoan man, and he eats and I will keep up with him. So it's just not as much as he does, but I learned this when we started dating in Hawaii, how much I really do enjoy eating. And so it's just been for me trying to strike a balance of eating when I'm hungry, and even when I am hungry, maybe deciding whether I'm hungry, or if I just like am bored, or if I just need water, like that kind of thing. So that's the balance that I'm trying to strike with food right now. And yeah, but dieting, I don't like the word. I guess I like lifestyle changes better than dieting. So
Yeah, because with the lifestyle changes, that's a good point, because it's like when you add something into your daily routine, like a hobby or something to look forward to, that definitely can help shift your mind from like needing to diet or like needing to restrict yourself or something like that, because it's like it helps to, I don't know, have more routines in your life, so then you don't have to restrict or cut out and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, and you know, to be fair, in Hawaii, the food is fantastic. So I can't really say no to that. I just think we should have more shrimp trucks around the world.
Oh my gosh, seriously. More Giovanni.
But yeah, I wholeheartedly agree that just door dieting, it sounds like I can't have something and immediately I want that thing. So that's hard for me because I've always been the kind of person that I'm like, if you tell me no, then I'm gonna figure out why you told me no. So I'm just gonna go figure it out for myself anyway. Which I'm sure mom and dad super loved when I was growing up. But I agree with the lifestyle changes. I attempted to do the 75 hard, which is 75 days of drinking a gallon of water, working out twice a day for 45 minutes. One has to be outside, reading a nonfiction kind of book for 10 minutes 10 pages a day. And this was every single day for 75 days. No breaks, no rests, nothing.
That is so many days. Oh my gosh.
It is a lot of days. And I got one weekend and then I got really sick because this was right when it was like February, I think, when I had done it. And it was when spring and winter were like playing jump rope back and forth. So I got sick for like a month. And I knew it was because, you know, it was really cold outside and then it was really warm one day. And then I would go out not dressed as warm as I needed to be. And basically it was a hot mess. But one of those, and the other thing with that is you have to go on a diet. Any diet of your choosing, you can do whatever you want to, but I chose just cut out processed sugar, right? And since then, I've definitely eaten less processed sugar, and I've also upped my protein intake because I also like to lift at the gym, and protein is, you know, what builds the muscle and helps burn the fat and whatever else. So I've definitely upped my protein intake. So I changed my, I guess, sweets from cookies and whatever else to like Greek yogurt, or, you know, things that just like fruits, you know, things that are just a little bit more on the healthy side, and then do the occasional, you know, like box of Milk Duds because I love Milk Duds instead of once every single day for an entire week because I'm just craving them. So like you said, it's just those lifestyle changes that you do have to recognize as you get older. You just can't eat the same as you used to. You just can't do the same things that you did when you were a kid.
And also,
expect the same
Or
result.
in college.
Also, I just wanted to point out that diets are often used by people like athletes who they have to be on a restrictive diet for performances. And we're not like performance based. And we're not all Olympic athletes. We're just not. We're not training to do Ironman or whatever it is. You know, we're not training for the zombie apocalypse. And so, like, the people that we see on screen, they were on restrictive diets. They were on these, you know, workout regimes that was specifically for their performance. It's just a performance. And so, I mean, if you change your mindset and you're just like, I'm just always going to perform for others, then, like, yeah, do the diet, whatever. But, like, it's just not a realistic thing.
Long term.
Yeah, for a hardworking mother of 5, right? Or or mother of 2, who her and her husband both work a job, and yeah, and it's just it's not necessarily like the easiest thing to incorporate all the time when you're just trying to get the kid to eat anything that you make. So yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, I mean, how do we change our mindsets? Because it's something that we've all dealt with. It's something we've all gone through where it's thinking one way about your body. How do we change that mindset? I know we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but how do we go from hating the way we look and the way we feel to just being like, you know what? At least I'm strong, or at least I have the capability of getting stronger.
Oh my gosh, a good night's rest. Getting to bed on time and setting your alarm and waking up to your alarm is such a game changer.
As someone who doesn't do that, I can attest. It makes me not feel good.
It's true.
Sleep is your first step for sure.
I love that.
And just, you know, remember what you're trying for, what you're fighting for, what you want for your future. Like, you have to learn to focus. At this point, like, I've literally just printed out like sheets of paper to make lists on of like things I can do because I finish my day at work and then I'm just like, I'm just exhausted. I could literally just go to bed right now at like 6, you know? But I make lists of like things I can do in the evening just so it's like staring there in front of me so that I don't just go sit down and read a book till I fall asleep, essentially.
I think it's the perfect time for you to get a dog so you can just take it for walks around the neighborhood then.
I know. I'm like,
that's what I loved in the Savvy.
Turns out the turtles can't really do that. I mean, I run around trying to find them when they hide in the leaves, but that's about it.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, apparently walking without a dog around the neighborhood, you're just like a serial killer. I don't know.
Yeah, it's only for like old people and people with like dogs. Turns out.
That's funny.
I
For
have yet
me,
to do it in my neighborhood.
something that I did start doing because I had like a pretty big hit when I was laid off from my last job, and I started this new job, and it's a lot more strict of like a schedule. But we have two breaks every day that are like 15-minute breaks, and I just didn't know what to do with the break because when my previous jobs, I would just take a break whenever I wanted to. Otherwise, I'd be working all the time. And so I started doing like 10-minute yoga for my first break and then like a little 5 or 10-minute meditation for my second break. And it's helped me feel like I'm not ruining my back and my posture while I'm sitting at a desk all day long because I'm taking
What?
We all sit up straight.
I know.
I'm taking a
I'm
10
like,
minute
oh, look at that. My back does hurt.
I'm at least taking like a 10-minute stretch and it's hard every time. I'm definitely not losing any weight. I'm definitely not getting immediately more flexible, but I feel good like immediately after and for the rest of the day when I do that. And then for the meditations, it's usually just like have some gratitude for yourself. And it's like, it's dumb, but it's also really it's really nice because at the end of the day, I'm like, I hate this, I hate everyone, and I don't want to do anything. And it's like, you are loved. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So it's something that I've been doing to help kind of heal my body and heal my mind and give me that space to just like do something where I'm at with my body. So
My tip would be, this is gonna sound simple or crazy, but buy or wear clothes that fit. My friend and I one day we picked up her sister for something, and so we went to her sister's place, and her sister was finishing getting ready, and we're just standing there. The TV was on. She had like YouTube or something, and these 2 girls or 3 girls, whatever, were talking about how much of an impact it makes when you put on clothes that fit versus the clothes that you would have fit into a few years back, and you're struggling and you're uncomfortable, the jeans are digging in, the shirt's too tight on your arms, whatever it is, and then you put on clothes that fit and you just immediately feel better. Shocking. Like, it hurts.
You're not paying attention to your clothing or to your body or how uncomfortable you are. You are feeling comfortable enough to like not have to focus on that. So you can focus on literally the world around you. Yeah.
That, and you do look good in clothes that fit. You look better in clothes that fit versus
you
clothes
look
that
better in clothes that fit.
And you will feel better for so many different reasons, and it may seem like nothing, but yeah. So my friend and I hear that, we both just kind of like glanced down at the floor like, ooh, that hit where it hurts, because we're also trying to fit in clothes that we wore when we were like 20, 30 pounds lighter.
And that's the crazy thing is like, if you lose that weight again, more than likely your body will be a little bit different shape anyway. And you don't want to wear those old clothes. Like, even if you can fit back into it, you're like, I'm over this. Like, it no longer looks the way it used to look. I'm over it. So it's just a better bet to just continue to allow your wardrobe to change with you.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's mine. Just wear clothes that fit. You'll feel better.
This is true.
Which kind of goes along with those of us all of us really have imperfections. So in that case, I mean, are those things that you want to hide, or are these things that we want to highlight, the imperfections?
I feel like when I wake up and I have to get dressed for something and I am not feeling like confident, I push myself more to dress better, because by going back to my comfort zone of just like sweats, it's not going to make me feel more presentable or better. So it's almost like I have to highlight it because I have to feel better.
Because it's not that serious.
Yeah. Because I feel worse if I try to hide it.
Yeah. Because like you said, then you're thinking about that and then it's on your mind and you're like, can people see? Are they focusing on that? Can they tell that's why I'm wearing, this thing versus something more fitted or, more revealing? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Hide versus highlight. I feel like it's just hard to hide behind yourself. Like it's just you, and I have a crooked face and lopsided eyes, and I have, just like all of these little imperfections that literally.
What are you talking
What
about?
are you
I'm
talking about?
saying all of these things because they're true, because I've been told them, okay? I know that
I have never a crooked. You mean not a symmetrical face?
yes,
Nobody has a symmetrical face.
No one has a
some
symmetrical
people
face.
have symmetrical faces. But
Very
anyway,
few people have symmetrical faces.
there is nothing on me that matches to the other thing. And so like so it's just kind of like, it's just me, and the imperfection is what I am. And so like there's not really any way to hide it, nor do I want to. I'm not going to. If that's what makes you feel good to get like surgery to alter how you look, then that's what makes you feel good. But for me, I'd rather feel good with what I look like. So
Embracing your non-symmetrical looks.
yeah, it makes me
look less alien. So there's
look like who I am. So
It's important definitely to be more comfortable with yourself. Then wish that you could change things that are going to take time to change or a lot of money to change or just can't be changed.
still a journey that we're all on for sure. But
Absolutely.
luckily we're all like very kind to one another, and like, as humans, hopefully we're kind to one another, and we just love more than whatever's on the surface.
And every day is a new day, so take advantage of that and try again.
And remember, a body in a swimsuit is a swimsuit body.
Oh yeah.
Facts.
Thank you for joining us again on another episode of Wild&T. Love you. Bye.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
ya.
Thank you for listening to Wild&T. This podcast episode was produced and edited by Teddy Chanboon, Kyron Maciel, and Dallas Hanson. Remember to subscribe, rate, review, and of course, share with your sisters. For more content, you can follow Wild&T on all platforms or our individual socials. See you next week.